Good afternoon and welcome to Conversations on Showing Up for Kids. My name's Tim Markle. I'm director of the Southern Regional Center for Children and Youth with Special Healthcare Needs. Conversations for Showing Up for Kids is just a very casual space where we bring in people that can help our families understand the system of care better, understand how to connect with each other better, basically anything that somebody wants to talk about dealing with parents and families of children with youth with special healthcare needs or disabilities. And one of the major topics that we have when we talk about children and youth with special healthcare needs and disabilities and families is the educational system. And I want to talk today with someone who is part of a resource that some families don't know anything about. And I really need families to understand how important they are in Wisconsin. And so we welcome in today Bonnie Vandermeulen. She's training coordinator for the Wisconsin Family Assistance Center for Education, Training, and Support. From henceforth, we will call it Wisconsin Facets or Facets, because I just don't feel like saying Wisconsin Family Assistance Center for Education, Training, and Support every time I talk to Bonnie. So we are going to talk a little bit about what trainings and resources Facets has to offer for parents that are interacting with the special education system, which is most of the families who have children with special healthcare needs and disabilities. So after that long-winded introduction, Bonnie, welcome. Glad you are here.
Thank you.
So let's just start off with a basic question.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Let's start with the basic question. What is Facets? Why do you guys exist?
Well, Wisconsin Facets is a statewide nonprofit organization that trains and supports families of kids with disabilities and young adults and those people who support them. We are the Parent Information and Training Center for our state that's mandated by the Individuals with Disability Education Act. And every state is supposed to have a parent training and information center. And in Wisconsin, Wisconsin Facets is that center. So we service all families with all kinds of disabilities from ages birth to 26. And as Tim had mentioned, we are on the educational side of the helper lists because we assist parents with their journeys and of course their children with journeys through the education system. So many people, of course, are familiar with the individual's education program itself. And so their IEPs can cause individuals lots of heartache and disability in the disability community because they're either not written correctly, that the schools aren't following through with the things that are in it. And from the very beginning, even, what is an IEP? So Wisconsin Facets has a whole training program to assist parents and those that support the children in those particular areas. Of course, we have other jobs as well and the services that they provide. So in addition to the trainings and the support for the trainings, we have what we call our help desk, and our help desk is open and available every day, Monday through Friday. And we have individuals who answer parent questions about IEP process, about COVID-19, about supports and resources available for families. And those are some of the things that we have that are available. We do some in-person trainings. We used to do many, many more pre-COVID, but we are hopefully going to start to get back into doing more one-on-one types of activities. We do have an intensive support person who does help out in IEP meetings, but those are what we call triage. So those that are the most needy are the ones that we try to help out as far as the support at an IEP meeting. We used to be able to do much more of that, but our grant doesn't permit us to do that. So we are basically grant funded and a nonprofit.
So just get this out of the way, where does the funding come from? You said it was each state is mandated as part of the IDEA. But
right.
Where is that funding coming from?
It comes from the Department of Education, from the government, from the Department of Education through the Department of Special Educational Services. And so we have to write a grant every 5 years to be able to serve as that. It is a very competitive grant. There are other places that are interested in being able to serve as the Parent Training and Information Center. So we have to make sure that we include all of the things that the federal government wants us to and provide all of those services as well. So we have to keep data all the time on individuals that we talk to, trainings that we provide, and all of that is submitted to the government so that they make sure that we do the deliverables that they ask for.
So let's go back to one of the things that you said earlier, Bonnie, which struck me in that the IEP is like this core element to special education, but a lot of families don't even know what an IEP is or what should be in the IEP until somebody at the school tells them that their child's going to be tested or assessed for a need. And then all of a sudden they enter into this world of special education. So with that, the IEP, the individualized, and I always get this wrong, individualized education plan or program. I can never remember exactly what the P stands for. I've heard it both ways. What do you offer in the way of training for parents who just all of a sudden their school's like, okay, your child wasn't doing as well as we would anticipated. We asked you for permission to do an assessment. We had an assessment. Now we'd like to talk to you about setting up an individualized education plan for them. What does that mean to a parent?
So we have groups of trainings that would be available to parents. We find that in order to help your student, a parent needs to be knowledgeable about all of the things that are going on around them. And of course, as Tim mentioned, the IEP process is one of those very, very important things. One of the things that Wisconsin Facets has is a series of 11 mini series of IEP modules that you could either listen to online or you can listen to live as far as presentations. And it takes you from very basic, what is an IEP, to know about what should be included, how to ask for an IEP, what the evaluation is to look like, how the IEP team actually writes the IEP, what things should be included in the IEP, how do we make sure that things that are in the IEP are carried out, what are the parent rights and responsibilities as it relates to the IEP, and also knowing about things like what is an extended school year? How do you get supplementary aids and services? What are some of the related services? And of course, I'm using all of this jargon now, but you could follow us through with all of these types of mini series, which are anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes in length, and be able to educate yourself either solely by yourself or with a live webinar to learn about those things. We also provide quite a few resources. Go ahead, Tim.
No, I said I pulled up the mini module page, and not only could people look at those recorded videos, but you got like tons of handouts associated with those trainings.
Absolutely. And actually, what I brought with me today, and hopefully you'll be able to see them, is some of the handouts that are included in that IEP modules, in the IEP modules. One of them that I brought with me is called An Introduction to Special Education. And I'm going to hold that up and hopefully that you guys can see that. And it's a book that I would call a primer, or like a first step in learning about the special education process. Another thing that's also included in our IEP mini modules is a book that we call A Special Education in Plain Language. And special education in plain language is really a joint venture by multiple types of agencies, the Department of Public Instruction, Wisconsin DPI, the Wisconsin Facets, all kinds of organizations have contributed in it. And I'm going to just open it to a page. I don't believe you'll be able to see it, but just so that you get an example, it basically says what the law says, what actually the law means, what parents should know about the law, and also what needs to be done. So this is a great resource to have, one that I think that every parent who has a child with disabilities should have access to. It's an online document, so it's you can get it electronically, but every school district should have copies of special ed in plain language, and Wisconsin Facets has multiple copies of this, both in the large form that I have or in a smaller pocket-sized version. And so if you would like a copy of those and can't access it either through your computer or want a hard copy, which I think is important, you can just call us and we can send one to you.
And I will get that phone number into the chat. Do you have that also available in Spanish?
We do. And actually, almost all our materials are both in English and in Spanish. And I also brought along today a couple of things so that you can see what we have. As Tim has made comment to, that we have our training calendar, and I have that in front of me here to show you. And our training calendar is also in English and in Spanish. So I'm holding up the English version, and then I'll show you too our Spanish version. And then, as Tim mentioned, the special ed in plain language has also been translated into Spanish. So these documents are available for our Spanish-speaking population as well.
So Bonnie, with all of those, you got training resources out there, you have ongoing trainings, you have these trainings that are recorded. Well, I just can't imagine that anybody would have any other questions about the IEP process, because that would just make it so clear and it's so standardized from school to school. And of course, parents know that I am now being highly sarcastic. And so there's still problems that come up. And so is Facets a place that they can call if a parent is saying, I thought this was what we agreed in the IEP meeting, but this isn't what's happening. What am I supposed to do about that?
Well, and that's an excellent question, because we provide multiple core services beside our trainings that we do. And I'd like people to know that we don't just have like those mini modules. We have anywhere from 85 to 100 trainings a year. And we try to recruit individuals to present those trainings who are the most knowledgeable in the areas of those trainings. So you can sign up for any of those trainings, and they're free of cost to anyone who wants to participate. In addition to that, we have what we call a help desk. And Tim was alluding to the fact that parents still have questions. What happens if they attend a training and they want to follow through and they have questions about it? We have a help desk group of people that are available to answer your questions every day. We're open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day. We have multiple people who serve as help desk specialists. As help desk specialists, they answer questions and provide resources related to the special education programs and services. They help problem solve and brainstorm different options and solutions for parents. They also help parents to connect with the community and other statewide resources that may be necessary for them to do so. And I'd like to say up front that we don't have all the answers to everything. And it's very important for you to know that if we don't know the answer, we're going to help you to find it. And we're going to search out who are those people and where are those resources that would be important for you to take a look at. And so we have that available to you. Also, Tim has written in the chat our 800 number for those of you who are in the Milwaukee area. Our physical office is located in the Milwaukee area, and we have services that we provide to the Milwaukee area schools as well as the surrounding schools. But many of us who work for Facets also work remotely. I work out of my office in Madison, and so we're able to touch various different locations throughout the state to be able to help with people. Beside with the help desk that we have, we do offer intensive phone support for families statewide. including an IEP review. If you feel that an IEP review is necessary, you can send us with your permission and a release the IEP, and we can investigate what it looks like. We can tell you if we think it's appropriate to your child's needs. We can tell you, and discuss these things with you. And as I mentioned before, we have a very limited amount of in-person support for families at school meetings and mediations and facilitated IEPs. And what we do also offer is that our Wisconsin statewide mediation system is also associated with everything we do. And in fact, one of the founders of that organization was Jan Sarek, who was our founder for our Wisconsin Facets. And we do provide information and tell parents how to hook up with mediations, how to sign up for facilitated IEPs through the Wisconsin mediation system as well. One of the things that you also have to keep in mind, and that parents ask us about all the time, is that we are not a legal agency. Even though we may have a lawyer or two working for us, we cannot provide what we would call legal services. So it's very important for us to say that up front. We are not lawyers and we cannot provide a legal opinion about everything, but we can send you to places that can. The other thing that I want to remind people of is the fact that we do not attend what we call manifestation determination hearings, due process hearings, or expulsion hearings. We're not permitted to do so. Number one, our grant doesn't permit us to. And number two, these are really intense programming kinds of things that we're not permitted to do. So I needed to let people know that up front as well. We do have a part going along with some of the things that Tim mentioned. We do have a quote leadership development program as one of our core services. We try to train parents to participate in decision-making groups and have impact on different systems. We offer and have in the past offered youth leadership summits. We have a series of webinars as well as information on supporting decision-making groups and how to be a part of a decision-making group. And we have materials that are available for that as well. So that would be part of our parent training services. And the other thing that I'd like to mention as part of our core services is our networking portion. And our networking portion, we kind of try and support parents in multiple different ways. We do have a Facebook page, and we do provide Facebook information and our website in Spanish so that people are able to access that as well. We do have a Twitter account. We have a monthly online newsletter that we present, and then we're part of various different what we call listservs or groups of people and interface with those different groups. Just to name a couple, would be to be part of some of the transition groups and also part of the Wisconsin parent training WISPE groups as well. So I hope I answered some of the questions there for you, Tim.
Absolutely, because I know that you are such a valuable resource for when families call one of the regional centers for children and youth with special healthcare needs, is because just like you, we don't have all the answers. We will do everything we can to help you find the answers and get you connected to the resources that you need. And you are definitely one of those resources that we encourage parents to be connected with, because you do offer training as well as leadership, as well as one-on-one telephone assistance. And so it's just, I just think you guys are underutilized. I hate to bring you more work, Bonnie, but I really do want everybody who has a child in the system to know that you are there and understand that you are there to help them navigate what is a complicated system. It's not set up to be easily navigated. It's gotten very complicated over the years. It's one of those cases where a very simple idea, I think, got really, really complicated. And so having facets there to help uncomplicate it, to help navigate it, to answer the questions about it is really, really valuable. I want to take a moment to see if there are any questions people might have for Bonnie. You can put those in the chat. You can unmute, and I will be happy to call on you. Thank you all for being here today, by the way. I don't think I did that at the beginning, so thank you so much for being here. And I've done my best to keep up with the resources in the chat, but please let me know what else I can send out to people after the webinar is done.
And if I can just add a few things that I may have skipped over before, there are some very important parts that the Office of Special Education Programs wants us to include as part of our Parent Training and Information Center. Of course, the information and training portion is paramount. We've had at least 135,000 visits to our website alone, just in the course of this year alone. We provide a newsletter to parents. About 35,000 people have had the opportunity to participate in that. We do have our own listserv, and so we send notices to our different listserv, but our own and our social media. We've had about 250,000 contacts with our social media this year. We do at least 30 exhibits at conferences across the state so that people get to know about what we have and what are available. We provide different types of information, like we have one of the greatest publications that I think is great for parents alone is our IEP checklist that helps parents in electronic format and also in hard copy.
We lost you there a minute, Bonnie. Could you please repeat the title of that again?
Yes, it's called our IEP checklist. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's called our IEP checklist, and it's a checklist that helps parents prepare for the IEP meetings. So that, in concert with the IEP mini modules and some of the other information that we provide about IEP meetings, those would be some really handy brochures and handouts that you could utilize. Also, something new for us this year is what we call our transition IEP checklist, and it's a companion now to be used with the regular IEP meeting and the IEP checklist, because it will help parents to begin to think about transitioning from school to the workplace or school to further education. And so our transition IEP checklist is something to help out with that.
Which is, of course, the one that I put into the chat by mistake. So I'm now going to put in the one also for the actual IEP checklist. Because I didn't even know you guys had a transition IEP checklist. That's
and
cool. I'm still gonna have to check that out.
Hot off the press.
Okay.
Hot off the press. Yeah.
Awesome.
And then again, just so that people are aware, beside the information and the training that I talked about and the information that we had, of course, we have our individual trainings. We have intensive support that we provide for people, unlimited telephone support. And then again, that portion of the leadership, how we collaborate, how we network, how we provide information to parents, how we hook them up with other resources, how we have training for our youth and for parents, both in, face-to-face or also electronically. And of course, we've done so much more electronically because we were forced to because of the pandemic, that now we have both available. And it's been actually a blessing for us because we've had the opportunity to provide services for people in rural areas that we may never have had an opportunity to do that before.
Yeah, while we still have an issue of everybody doesn't have the same level of internet, it's getting better. And so making these resources available to more families in Wisconsin is a big step. And I appreciate that as well. This is, Bonnie, without me prepping you much, you did exactly what I was hoping you would, which was let people know that Wisconsin FACETS is there for you to call. I'm sure you have an email out there somewhere as well. But they can call with their concerns. They can call when they're just stumped by something that might have happened with the school. and you can help them sort through that. Your trainings are in the IEP, your newsletter I get every month. There are resources out there for families who are struggling to understand the special education system. And you guys have those available. And I just don't think enough families know about that.
I just would like to add, I don't know if they'll be able to see this very well, but I have it on a sheet of paper. This is a copy of what the front looks like of the IEP transition checklist and the IEP checklist. And those are available both in electronic copy and also in hard copy. Some of the very popular resources that we have that people might want to ask for or look for either on our website or ask for when you call us would be the special ed in plain language, as I mentioned previously, or the introduction to special ed, the IEP checklist in Spanish, the transition IEP checklist, our yearly training calendar, any online resources that are available. We have multitude of what we call archive trainings. So a lot of the trainings that we've done prior, we have been able to put up on our website under archive trainings. So just about anything is available for you to sign up for. And again, there is no cost to any of these to any of you that are interested in participating.
And to just reiterate, as you guys are not a law firm, you are not going to be the people that are there to hold schools accountable, but you are there to help parents understand their rights and their responsibilities when they have a child in special education, and help them know where to go if they are feeling they're not being listened to by their
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of our networking things that we do a lot of. When parents call our helpline and find that they really don't know where to go next. What do I do next? I'm so frustrated. How can I get somebody to help me? Who's going to listen to me? Who should I be talking to? Because the school's not listening to me.
Right.
We can hook you up with the right people that will help to solve some of those difficulties for you. We could provide those resources to you. We can tell you if we don't know, we can show you how to get there, and we'll follow along with you because it might be something that we haven't learned before, and we're always open to learning. So as I would say to anybody who's participating, we are learners as well as you, so we don't know everything. So we're hopeful to be able to help find whatever we can that we don't know about.
Now, we have a comment in the chat that wants to say that as a special education teacher, knows a lot of this, but sometimes we forget, and in reminders, such as this webinar, bring it back to the forefront of our minds. Thank you. So because these are online resources, this might also be a place for new special education teachers or regular ed teachers to go to learn more about the system, because we know there are trainings through the Department of Public Instruction and through CSAs and that. But sometimes when we explain things from the family's point of view, it makes more sense in the bigger educational picture. And so, yes, I would also encourage educators to take a look at these resources.
Well, and absolutely, because I think that for everyone to know, anyone that works in our agency either has to have a disability themselves or a family member who has a disability. And so when you walk in those shoes, you know a little bit differently about how things are happening and how important certain things are to the families that are, taxed with trying to navigate the system themselves. So what we hope that we can do is to help you navigate the system, because sometimes the system isn't so easy to navigate.
As a parent, I agree. I have found that to be true. Any other questions or comments? Again, feel free to unmute or raise your hand and I can call on you, or you're free to put a question or comment in the chat. And I just, while we're waiting for people to maybe organize their thoughts, I did want to thank you for the continued support you have for the parents in Wisconsin. I love knowing that Wisconsin Facets is out there and that I can refer parents knowing that they are going to get quality assistance from you guys. And I look forward to continuing partnering with you.
Thank you. And so do we, because you have been such a great help for us as well. And we tap you as a resource as well. And so that's part of our networking.
Absolutely. Yeah, I may never speak directly to special education, but dang it all, I can speak to life.
So I just want to add a couple of things real quickly.
Please.
We do have what we call language interpreter trainings, and those interpreter trainings are for individuals who do not speak English as their first language, but are going to be helping to interpret the proceedings for IEPs. We have those trainings available. We offer a conference every year in August called our Endless Possibilities Conference that we work with other agencies in the state to be able to help support and to put on. We have another grant that's called Literacy Training Series for Families and supporting learning, literacy, and behavior at home. And that's a grant that we have through the Department of Public Instruction that we provide those services. So one of my colleagues is in charge of that information as well. And then again, we have the archived workshops and trainings, and we have, of course, our up-to-date training calendars. And I'm pleased to say that I just completed our training calendar for 2023. And so those should be showing up on our website pretty soon.
So I think it's pretty much a slam dunk that the next time any educator or parents are having trouble falling asleep, that if they would connect to the Facets website, there is a plethora, meaning a lot, of information and resources that are out there that they may not know exists, and that they will be able to get some answers or at least connect to some people that can help them find those answers. So next time insomnia hits, think wifacets.org. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I just know that as a parent, sometimes I have trouble falling asleep. And so it's good to have somewhere to go to.
Thank you, Tim.
Well, bye. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be your new tagline, but it is something to consider. Well, I am not seeing any questions in the chat, but I do, or hands raised. So thank you so much. I'm going to, in just a moment, stop the recording. You just hang on so I can say goodbye as well and catch up on a couple other things that I'm interested in now, like the transition checklist. So Aaron says they may not go to sleep, but go down the rabbit hole of information. Yes, there's a ton of rabbit holes to fall down on the website. But Bonnie, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody who has attended will receive a link to the recording, as well as I'll put together a short information sheet that lists the resources that we talked about in the chat. And so I hope you will be able to join us. I keep forgetting to do this because there's actually people on today. But I hope you sign up to join us next Tuesday. Going to have a special day and time. We're going to be doing conversations next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. I have a family panel of various people that I just enjoy talking to, and they're going to talk about what do families need and how can families support each other. And the last time it developed into a conversation about what are the best treats to bring to an IEP meeting. So we're also working on a cookbook. So I hope you will join us then next Tuesday. But until then, please utilize Facets. They are there to help you. Bonnie, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And please feel free to give us a call. My email address is my name, bvandermeulen at wifacets.org. And I'll just spell it for you, bvandermeulen at wifacets.org.
Fantastic. Feel free to reach out. Bonnie will be there for you. Thanks again.
Bye, everybody.